It's a pleasure now to introduce you to two more of your hometown attorneys. Joining me now is Matt Bruder and David Marquis. Thanks so much for being with me. You two handle the negotiation department for Dyer, Garofalo, Mann and Schultz. What exactly does that mean?
Well, what happens is when somebody contacts our law firm, David and myself or one of our associates will meet with the client to discuss their case and what their rights are. And the beauty of the way that our firm is set up is that there's no upfront cost to the client. We work on a contingent fee. And different than what other people have experienced, unfortunately, from out of city or even out of state attorneys, is that our fee hasn't changed since we've started the firm. And while a lot of firms may increase that cost even up to 40–45% on a lot of cases, if the case has to be litigated, our firm keeps it at 1/3.
That's nice. So if I'm injured in an accident, I don't really know all my rights. I mean, I go to my insurance company, they say this is what it's going to be, this is what we're going to do for your car, but it's a lot more complicated than that, right, David?
It gets very complicated very early, and a lot of people try to handle it themselves and get overwhelmed and then come into our firm. What we found, it's best to have somebody advising you early to level the playing field. Too often what we see is insurance adjusters and different investigators will come out and give misinformation to injured people. Their whole lives are up in the air, they're not working, they're not generating a wage, they don't have a car, and they're getting misinformation or even illegal advice from insurance companies. At our firm, it's free to come in and talk to us, and we will tell you what your rights and obligations are. If they want to sign up with us, we can represent them and make sure that they get full compensation.
So unfortunately, we have to understand that 1 out of every 3 drivers in Ohio does not carry insurance. So what happens if I'm hit and injured by someone that doesn't have insurance?
Well, fortunately, in Ohio, we offer what's called uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. And this is probably a good time to let the viewers know, too, that if you don't have that coverage under your policy or you're unsure, it's good to check with your agent before an accident. If you have that type of coverage under your policy, this uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage, even if the defendant does not have coverage, you are able to present a claim to your own carrier for compensation. And the beauty of the way that it's set up in Ohio is that your insurance carrier cannot raise your rates or do anything detrimental to you for accessing that coverage.
A lot of people would think that too, because that is one of the biggest things is I get in one accident or I get one ticket and there goes my insurance through the roof.
Right.
So many times people think as well when they contact a lawyer that automatically means you're going to be on trial in a courtroom. Explain to us why that's really not the case.
A majority of cases are really just insurance claims that get resolved. We step in and help people for insurance claims and for lawsuits, but 75 to 85% of the time the case is resolved just as an insurance claim. It's a petition to the insurance company of their medical bills, their lost wages, and a claim for pain and suffering, and it will resolve. The other 15, 20, 25% will force us to file suit, and we'll have to take the case to litigation and to go to court. Even then, the likelihood of actually seeing the inside of a courtroom is very small.
So when someone is injured as well, they are given phone calls, letters from attorneys that are not in their hometown, that are many of them out of state. And we know that you all are hometown attorneys. Why is that so important?
I think it's very important, and as we had talked about before, we have satellite offices, so we're in a number of locations. It's important for somebody to be able to come into your office and actually meet with an attorney, as opposed to meeting with an investigator or talking to someone from a city that's 200 miles away. We know the doctors, we know the court systems here, we know the providers that they're treating with, we know the body shop where their vehicle's being taken care of, so we're able to step in and help them and deal with them on a personal level as opposed to handling things from several hundred miles away.
And being a top-rated law firm and rated #1 in the Miami Valley, obviously you're doing it correctly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.